So OpenAI just fixed one of Codex's most annoying problems. And this is an absolute game changer because it allows you to build your apps a lot quicker, a lot easier, and without needing to babysit them all the time. And so in today's video, we're going to be talking about what this new feature is, how it works, and how to use it to get the most out of it. Now, the issue with building apps with Codex is that before, if you wanted Codex to build something real, you usually had to babysit the whole process. You would prompt it, wait, check the result, remind it what the goal was, ask it to fix issues, and keep nudging it until the app finally worked. Now, thanks to this new feature, there's a better way to work. You can simply enable it, give Codex a clear finish line, and let it keep working until the checklist is satisfied or it hits a real blocker. And in fact, I just built an entire app using this feature right here. So as you can see, this is an app that I built by giving it specific instructions and telling it to build out the whole thing in one shot. And this is not a bad app. It works really nicely. It has a decent UI. You can kind of browse here. You have your planning. You can add meals over here. And later on, you can also make it nicer. You can add some features and make it a lot more professional. And while building this, I did not need to constantly babysit Codex. I did not need to wait and then tell it to do something else and then tell it to do something else again. I can simply start this process, do something else, and then come back when it's completed. Now, the feature that was just officially released yesterday is called Goal Mode. And Goal Mode is no longer an experimental feature, and it is available in the Codex app, IDE extension, and CLI. With Goal Mode, you can have Codex drive toward a specific objective for hours or even days. I have seen people using it over a weekend to complete a very, very complex task. Now, you can click here to learn more about this feature right here on OpenAI developers documentation. And so Goal Mode gives Codex a persistent objective to work toward across a longer task. Use it when the work may take many steps or when Codex needs a clear definition of done that it can keep checking as it works. When you set a goal, the goal text acts as both the starting prompt and the completion criteria. Codex uses it to decide what to do next and whether the task is complete. And here they continue to talk about this feature, but the best way to learn it is by putting it into action. And so I'm going to jump into my Codex over here and I'm going to show you the initial way that I use this. Now, this right here might look like a simple prompt, but it was actually sent as a goal. And the way that you want to structure this is you want to give it a prompt, but you also wanted to tell it when to complete. You want to be very, very explicit by telling it that it can only complete when certain decisions, when certain conditions are met. And then you also wanted to tell it that you wanted to stop after a certain amount of turns if blocked. While Codex can build a lot of things, it can also experience blockers that are external to the system. An external command is not properly running, or maybe an iOS simulator is broken. And in that case, Codex can't really do much and it needs to stop and it needs to ask you to fix it, whatever was broken, the external thing. And after that, it can restart and continue building. And so it's very, very important that you structure it this way. In fact, when you're starting out with goals, just ask Codex the best way to do it. That is exactly what I did. And that's why I was able to generate this prompt right here. And while it was running, it experienced an external blocker. And so it stopped, it put itself on pause, and it asked me to fix the issue and then resume it again. And that underscores goals, because with goals, while it's running, you can always pause it and resume it later. It's supposed to act like a long running prompt. So whereas a prompt is something that you run, it may take, a couple of seconds, it may take a couple of minutes, maybe a couple of hours at most. A goal is designed to be a long running task where it can run for several hours or even several days. And there can be situations where you need to pause it. Maybe you're losing internet connection. Maybe you are, you're closing your laptop, you're taking it to a coffee shop, or you just want to pause it and resume it later. And unlike regular prompts, you can do that with goals. The first goal is the baseline stress test. There's no UI spec and no generated mockup. I'm only giving Codex a strong written finish line and asking it to build a complete meal planner from scratch. This is the cleanest way to test goal by itself. If Codex can produce a multi-tab app with planning, reusable meals, grocery generation, local persistence, and a clear final verification summary, then we know the goal loop is useful even before we add the stricter spec-first workflow. Build a polished native React Expo TypeScript meal planner app from scratch. If there's no suitable app in this folder, create a new Expo TypeScript app. The goal is complete only when each of these 10 conditions is true. Do not add any of these, right? We have our guardrails, and then stop after 10 turns if blocked. And I'm going to go ahead and execute this. And now, as you can see, this has been sent as goal. It's pursuing this goal right here. And what we can do here is we can edit the goal, we can pause the goal while it's running, or we can clear this goal. And you can click over here and you can see the goal that you have sent. And now it's going to be executing it as a long running prompt. All right, so it has implemented a new Expo TypeScript app at Meal Planner with all requested local-only features. This is what's included. These are the remaining limitations. Final goal usage, 106,000 tokens, about 4.5 minutes elapsed. Run it in the iOS simulator. All right, and here's our app. And as you can see, it's a fairly simple, but still fairly complete app. So we have our weekly meal planner here. I can add breakfast, choose this. I can save that. Now we have breakfast here. I have my meal library here. I can add meals. I have my grocery list, and I have some stats. It's also an iOS app because we are running it directly in the iOS simulator. The main issue is the visual look. It's very, very basic. It's nowhere near a professional app. And so in this next example, I want to show you how you can build an app that will look a lot better, a lot more aesthetically pleasing using the goal functionality. Now, the second app is where the workflow changes. I don't want Codex to improvise a generic meal planner UI from a screenshot. I'm going to generate a detailed UI spec. Then I will use that spec to generate mockups. Only after that, I will give Codex the spec and mockups as the build target. This gives Codex two kinds of guidance. The spec tells it exactly what to build, and the mockups show what the result should look like. So first, we are going to create the UI spec. And this is not going to be a goal. This is just going to be a regular prompt. And we have the main specs. What do they define? We have the required screens, and we have the design direction. Premium iOS food planning app. Let's go ahead and run this. So it has generated the specs. And next, what we want to do is we want to create the actual mockups based on these specs. Create high fidelity iPhone app mockups from this UI spec. Generate 4 full screen mobile app screens. Let's go ahead and run this. And it's going to be using the built-in image generation engine to do just that. Here we have the mockups, and if we enlarge them, you can see them. We have this screen, the planner, this is the library, this right here is adding a meal, and this is the grocery list here. Now, these here were generated from the specs that we had given Codex earlier. And so now that we've seen them, I can say that I'm fairly happy with these. They look pretty good. They look a lot better than what we had before. And most importantly, they have validated that the initial specs that we have are valid and they will result in really good images. And so now that we have the specs and we have the actual images, we can give Codex a much more specific and a much more robust goal to build an app that actually looks like this. And here's the prompt. Build a React Native Expo TypeScript app that matches the attached UI spec and mockups one 1-to-1. The UI spec is mandatory. The mockups are the visual target. Do not reinterpret, simplify, merge screens, redesign, or create a generic version. We have our conditions that need to be met, and we also have the final answer. We have the stop condition after 8 turns if blocked. Now, another thing that really helps is you want to click here and you want to just copy this image and you want to reattach it again just in case. And now we can execute this goal. We're going to run this goal and it's being sent this goal correctly because we have specified /goal, and it should hopefully create a higher quality app with a much nicer UI. Take a look what happened here. It worked for almost 8 minutes. It implemented all of this, and then it found some visual gaps, and it restarted again. I'm continuing with strict fidelity work. Okay, so it's as though a person came in, saw what happened, saw it finish, and then restarted it, told it to continue working so that it finishes with that strict fidelity, so that it matches up a lot better than what it was. And that's exactly what's happening here. And here it's running again. And here you can see it finished another pass, went all the way down, remaining visual gaps, and it decided to run again. Now here it says I'm doing a final fidelity pass focused on the remaining visual mismatches, denser composition, tighter card spacing. And so it's starting to look a lot better actually. Wait until you see the other pages. Starting to look really, really good. And let's see what this pass does and if it will be the last one, or maybe it'll decide to do more passes. And so it just finished that pass and it decided to do one more pass. Remember, it said that this pass was going to be the last one, but here it's deciding to do another pass. I'm doing one more strict styling pass on the 4 screens to close the remaining spacing type gaps. And it's starting to look better. Now take a look at this main page here, this planner. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It could still be polished, maybe a little bit more spacing here and there. And after it is done, we're gonna compare what we have here with the original mockups and see how close it got. So it has finished with another pass, and let's see if it decides to go another round. Remaining visual gaps, very small pixel level differences, so I think it's gonna go again. It's not stopping just yet. It's been running for almost half an hour. Still some remaining visual gaps here. It's going again. I'm fixing the screenshot evidence quality next. So let's wait and see what happens with this pass and see how the results are gonna look. So here it decided to go for another pass to fix screenshot evidence quality next, and it's going to capture all of this. And here you can see it's screenshotting the simulator in order to compare to our spec. And that way you can decide what to fix, what is left, the scope, etc. So it finished this pass and it decided to do another pass. I'm closing in on the remaining visual deltas by tightening text fit behavior on weak planner and constraining the library to the mockup card. And as you can see, this is not something that you can do in one prompt. In one prompt, it can move the needle a little bit, but it's not going to do the whole thing. And that's why, that's why this works so well. All right, so now it has been running close to 40 minutes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and I'm going to compare the app with the mockups and see how close it got. Okay, so here we have the original mockups. We have this screen here, and we have this. It looks fairly similar. We have this, we have the actual meals here, Greek yogurt, and it looks very, very similar. Very similar. I mean, it did decide to, use this high protein here when this is just the ingredients. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our meal library, for instance. This is the meal library. It looks very similar. Now here it's the same design, green, high protein, on the go. It doesn't have this on the go. It doesn't have add. This filtering works, but it doesn't have add, and it's displaying a grid. It's not displaying a list view. Let's try groceries. I mean, it's kind of similar, kind of not. I mean, it has these items there are separate from the background here. It's like this one thing here. Some elements are different. Let's go ahead and see add meal. Yeah, add meal. I mean, functionally, it's similar, but it does look slightly different, right? It's slightly different. And, we could have left it running, and maybe it could have gotten to that point where they're very, very similar. Now, if I kept it running here, a couple of things might have happened. Number one, it could have gotten closer to where it needs to get, right? It could have gotten very, very close to this. Now, another variation of that is that it could have gotten very, very similar to this and still kept going because it saw some minor issues, or it might have diverged and started to work on other things. And so goal is extremely, extremely powerful because it can do a lot of things that you need to do. And now it can just run autonomously while you're doing something else. Just leave your computer on, make sure it doesn't sleep, and have it go at it and have it run those tasks. You also need to give it the right specs. And so after running a couple of these examples and also trying a bunch of apps beforehand, this is the plan that I would give it. For apps where design is not super important, you can just run a goal prompt like I did for the first app. That is going to be enough. But for polished multi-screen apps where visual result matters, you want to create the UI spec first. You want to generate mockups of that, and then you want to build the app so that it references both of them like we were doing here. And so goal is not powerful because the command is magic. It is powerful when the finish line is clearly written enough so that Codex can keep checking its work against it. Now let's talk about the main takeaway. So the main takeaway is that goal is strongest when the finish line is bounded, visible, and testable. It can help Codex keep working toward an outcome, but it does not remove the need to define that outcome. Constrain the scope and verify the result yourself. The rule that you want to keep in mind is that you want to use goal whenever you have a finish line, whenever you know exactly how the app should look, and whenever you know that Codex is capable of getting you there. An example can be, a fairly complex app where you don't really need site design fidelity. Another example could be like a multi-day project where you need to rebuild a big app in another language. So for instance, you have a Python app and you need that app in JavaScript, or you have like an all C++ app and you need that app in TypeScript. You know that Codex is capable of doing it. It's just gonna take a long time. And this is the perfect use case for goal because goal can do it. It doesn't really need you there, but it's going to take a long time. So this is something you could just leave on a weekend, just give it a very, very specific goal, very, very specific conditions that need to be met. So like you want to translate this code base into another language and it needs to be testable and every file needs to be translated. And you can use Codex to help you craft like a very, very high quality prompt. On the other hand, if you are working on something where you're not really sure what the finish line is, how the finish line looks, and whether it is attainable in the first place, because I've done a lot of apps, like I've built lots and lots of algorithms that at the end of the day, it couldn't get it perfectly done because that algorithm, it was fairly tough. In those situations, goal is not going to help you because what goal is doing is it keeps sending a prompt and it's trying to bring your app to get it where it looks to this reference. And if you're not sure what that reference is or whether that reference is going to be the same across all apps, goal is not going to help you. And so in many cases, yes, goal is awesome because in many cases we are building tools, we're solving problems that Codex is capable of doing, but it's just going to take a long time, and it requires constant feedback from you. And in that case, you can just use goal and step away, but you need to ensure that your prompts are on point. You're giving Codex a reference, you're telling it exactly how it should work, and in that case, it's going to work. And so I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Leave a comment letting me know what you guys think, if you've used this feature before, if you're planning to use it. And don't forget to join our amazing Patreon community, where I'm going to be making available all the prompts that I've used in this video in an easy to use prompt pack that you can copy and paste directly into Codex for your next project. Simply click the first link in the description and become a member. And that is a great way to support this channel and support my work. So hopefully I'll see you inside.